Angus, everybody, come on! On all of these demos, sometimes we have a smaller version. I'm like, screw that, get the bigger one, Angus, which means a lot more work for him. Angus, everybody, come on! All right, let's do this. I may end up actually taking my mask off too. It's the last day. If I get COVID now, we'll still be able to get the final. So. All right, let's do it. Living life on the edge, folks. All right, so let's start up with the can. All right, so this one's not in your book, but somebody asked for it, so we're going to do it. I've got a big 55-gallon drum here. What's that? Yeah. Takes 15 minutes. Oh, is Vince wanting to see that? Okay, let me check here. Oh, whoops, I can't see this thing pop up. Hold on, let me fix this. I got a monitor over here. Give me a second. Now I can see better. I think it's on. All right. So just to prove that this is not some joke. Okay, I'm about 250 pounds. This can is legit, right? Solid material. Now, all right, you can see it can support my weight. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this up here. You got the water? Good. All right. Then we're going to put this in here. And actually, we'll start. Okay, you got the remote? Just actually, oops, let me move it just a little bit. Hold on, sorry. Because you see when you have an extra, yeah, my pocket. Let's go. So we're filling this up with some water. What is it, about 3.5 gallons? 3.5 gallons ends up being about 5-inch depth in the bottom of, or sorry, 5 centimeter depth, right?
Yes, 5%.
So this will make a depth of about 5 centimeters in the bottom. And we're going to boil the crap out of it. It's going to take about 15 minutes on this burner here. And so, whoops, while he's pouring that in here, let's think about this. We're going to be boiling this, and there's a hole here at the top, obviously, where we're filling it up. What's the pressure right now near my face in the air? 1 ATM, right? Well, what's going to be the pressure in the air right above this hole in the can? 1 ATM. When we're boiling the water, we're not changing the air outside, so that's still going to be 1 ATM. So if it's 1 ATM just in the air just outside the can, what has to be the pressure of the air inside the can? In equilibrium state.
1 ATM.
1 ATM. What's the difference, however? Inside is going to be predominantly hot water vapor, right? Or not predominantly, but there's going to be a large portion of the air that's hot water vapor, right? Steam. So now, let's do that. Where's that light? Are we on from earlier? Yeah, it should be on. Okay. That's going to be heating up. So it's 1 ATM right here, so it's 1 ATM right there. Then what's going to happen is it's going to be hot, steamy air that's at 1 ATM. We're going to seal the lid. And I'm going to dump it in this kiddie pool, fill it with ice water, right? When we do that, what's going to happen if it's sealed? What should happen to the temperature of the can when we dump it in here? Ice water. It should decrease. When it decreases, what's going to happen to some of the water vapor in that air? It's going to condense on the side of the can. So, and if this is sealed at that point, it's no longer open to 1 ATM. You have fewer air molecules. What's going to happen to the pressure? It's going to drop. What is atmospheric pressure in PSI? You remember? 1 ATM, 1.013 times 10 to the 5th pascals, or approximately what PSI? Starts with 5th. My gosh, amazing. 15 is correct. 15 pounds per square inch. Square inch is about that big. Now we aren't going to evacuate this to 0 PSI, but what if it drops several PSI in there? Totally plausible. Well, every square inch of this is going to be multiplied by that force because there's a pressure differential. Atmospheric outside, 15 PSI, maybe 12 PSI inside, or only 11 or something, even if it's 13. If you add up all the square inches of this, the pressure on the outside versus the pressure inside is going to be bonkers. What should happen to the can? Squish, right? It was able to hold 240 pounds of me. Atmospheric pressure over this huge area is a lot bigger than that. So this is going to take 15 minutes to cook. Well, it does that. Should we do the siphon before we forget?
Yeah.
Let's look at page 143, problem 14.30. Wrong way.
The page? Oh, no, these are 14 to 30. Oh.
I think if we do it right in front of this. Good. Let's see, let's get this table out. Oh my gosh. Look what I'm doing, everybody. My diaphragm is dropping, which is increasing the volume inside of me, which then makes my lungs and lower than and atmospheric pressure is pushing the liquid into my mouth. Just remember that. There's no sucking in physics, except for student grades. Oh, unfortunately, too close to true. All right. Oops. Oh, you went that way? Okay, I'm going.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know where we were going.
Sorry, that's my fault. We're not used to doing this with cameras. Okay. Let's go back up here. Sorry. Right there. I bet we could do it right like this. Well, let's
Ever heard of
try it out. There we go. All right, so we have two buckets here. Angus is usually better at this than me, but I just wanted to show you how a siphon works, right? So siphons are interesting. If you, how do you think a siphon works? You know what a siphon is? What is a siphon, in your opinion? What does it do? Moves liquid, yeah. What causes the liquid to move? Did you learn that somewhere or not? Yeah, so most people get siphons wrong. It turns out it's a combination of factors. And what did I say here? Did I say this in the, did I give you the definition? Oh my gosh. What I'll do is I'll put a link in this video, but I'll also send the link to you guys in an email. There's a good description of it from Hawaii, a physicist in Hawaii. A lot of people think that siphons can't work in a vacuum, and that's not true. Some people say it's a chain model and one molecule pulls the next over. Some people say it's pressure. It turns out it's an interaction of factors. It's a combination of gravity and pressure and fluid flow, and you can't really separate them all. But in short, we could use this trick of water seeks its own level. So what we've got is a hose in here, right? And this hose is now filled with liquid. What I can do is I can get one end of the hose down low, and now it's draining out. And the idea is the water is going up and over the arc through the tube, right? And it's the interaction. Basically, you can solve this with Bernoulli's equation. So if you want to see the math on how a siphon works, it's right there in your homework. And then once you get this started, you can just leave it going, but I'm going to make a huge mess. But I promise I'll send you the link to the Hawaii TPT siphon. And I've got a page where I reference it. I'll send you the link later so you can learn about siphons if that interests you. But I just wanted to show you how a siphon works a little bit and mention most of the things that people learn about siphons are completely wrong. So I'll send you the literature, which I think explains it very well. There's a good new definition we'll use. All right, that's it for siphons. Let's look at, all right. Ooh, let's go to page 147. And let's do a fun fresh. I need a volunteer. Somebody that's not scared easily and maybe has a shirt that they don't really care much about. All right. Are you willing to lay down on the bed of nails for us?
Sure.
Okay. I have a shirt here that you could use if you don't want to ruin yours, but if you're okay with that, you might get some pinpricks in the back. You're good?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Let's give him a round of applause to motivate him. Okay, so before you lay down, we're going to explain a little bit. So this is on page 147, problem 14.43. You know what, Alan? You might jump up on the main screen. That way you can be my backup, making sure I don't forget to get the monitor, because I really want to get these on there.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to lay them down on here. But before we do this, these nails are actually pretty sharp, but each one has a little bit of a head on it. And so if you add up the area on all of those nails, it's approximately the size. You can scoot closer if you want. It's approximately the size, an area the size of my hand. Okay. And so you can imagine sitting on that and not getting crushed and being completely miserable. But before we do this, you should know, never do this at home. The instructor up at Cuesta did this and did, well, he basically cracked his sternum because he used the wrong sledgehammer. So I learned from him, he says, whatever you do, don't use the 12-pound sledge. We're only using the 8 today, right, Angus?
Let me double check.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're good. All right. And so what we're going to do is you're going to lay down on here. We're going to put safeties on them. You got some safeties? Okay. Just for fragments that might fly around if we're shattering the stuff on you. Then we're going to put another bed of nails on top of you. Then we're going to put a cinder block on top of that. And we're going to smash that with a sledgehammer. You good to go? Let's do it. You're going to lay face up. Get your neck right about here. Because that way we know it's going to work. Do not do this at home. Okay? Oh, wait, before we do this, just to show you, here's an apple. This is definitely sharp. Right? Just making sure you realize that this is not fake nails, okay? Still feeling good? All right, so when you do this, watch what I do. I want to show you, and then you can do it. So you can actually sit on this, but do not kid around, all right? Take this serious. So I'm kind of slowly adjusting my weight. And then lay it down like that. Got it? And then when you get up, I'll help you get up. It's uncomfortable. We're going to try and do this as quickly as possible so you're done, okay? No, I'll get it. But I'm moving slowly, right? You can hear it starting to stick to my clothes. All right, so be careful. Got it? Good. You happy with that, Angus? Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. We're going to make sure your face is covered, but not with nails. Okay. You may want to turn your head slightly so your nose isn't bumping into the floor. Okay, up a little too. Feeling good? Okay, feeling nervous yet? Yeah, it's pretty intense. Still good? Again, do not do this anywhere else. Don't do this ever. Feeling good?
Yeah.
Okay, class, let's give them a 3 count. Ready? Feeling good, Angus?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I think he's dead. He's dead. Oh, he made it. Let's give him a round of applause, people. Okay. Here. Hey, let's give him another round. That's pretty. Oh, look. Our steam is going. Do you think it's been going long enough? Pretty much, right? Probably, yeah. Should we do one more in advance just in case? Okay, so let's get this out of here. What's the next one?
Definitely recommend it.
Yeah, we're about ready to Steve in 5 minutes. Yeah. I'm on live stream. I can't say. Where's that damn remote? Okay. All right. Let's see. What's next? Where's my notes? Sorry. Over there. There. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Let's do the Kawanda or the Magnus real quick. We can do those really quick. So we're going here. What is this? 8? Yeah. Okay. So we're looking at the Magnus effect, everybody. The Magnus effect. There's a lot of weird effects here. That's on page 149. Problem 14.50. All right. And I think you can see here. Yeah, we're good. We got 2 quick, and just roll that up with the tape right down. All right. Okay, just roll it up and I'll say. All right. So take a look here. In this case, I've got this cylinder. It's just PVC. We put some water inside just so it would sink. All right, so I'm going to roll this thing down here, and when I let go of it, what's going to happen to this cylinder when it goes underwater? Which side of the aquarium do you think it's going to hit? As I roll it down this way.
You mean would it go forward or backward?
Yeah, is it going to go forwards or is it going to go backwards? What do you think? Let's find out, right? Do you see it come backwards? Isn't that odd? Now this is an effect it's really hard to test on this, but I just wanted you to see this weird effect. This is called the Magnus effect. And maybe you've seen the videos of people that are dropping basketballs off of dams with spin. Have you ever seen that? If not, I'll put that video in the link. It's the same idea, or you can see what happens here. It's the same idea with a curveball, things like that. Let me get this one. Hold on. And let's do. It's a little tricky with the camera to do these things. It's torture. All right, so here's an idea. I can do the same thing in air with this cylinder. So what I'm going to do is there's a ribbon wrapped around this cylinder. I don't know if you can see it on Zoom, but this white thing is just a piece of cardboard. And I got a long ribbon of tape wrapped around it. And when I whip this, if I roll it the right way, it will actually, we'll see this thing start to lift up due to the Magnus effect. See that go? So that's kind of cool, right? So in this case, the last class was a little better because I hit some student right in the face, which is pretty cool. But yeah, you'll have to watch the stream for that. But it's been a long semester, hasn't it? The point, there's a weird thing you can do with this. You can actually put a DC motor on a giant aluminum cylinder and spin it on top of an oil tanker and use it to reduce your fuel consumption as you cross the Atlantic. And if you get this thing curving the right way, we were seeing an effect, basically lift, right? And you can actually get forwards lift that helps propel a large vessel, a naval vessel forward. This is called a Flettner rotor. If you're curious, you can Google it or whatever. That said, I want to get to this can crush just because it's cool and Vince is here. So let's do that. Okay, let's do this. Oh, we got this. Okay. Get the camera right. Using the table here. Might be using the table here. Uh-oh, we got a rip off now. Tell you what, anything that could happen this semester. Hold it up. Good. All right.
Move those chairs.
Thanks. All right, there we go. Can you kind of see it now? I don't know what this thing is. That be okay able to see? Oh yeah. All right, you ready? So let's finish this demo off that we started 15 minutes ago. It's totally hot and steamy. So what we're going to do is we're going to seal this, turn off the heat. And as soon as we do that, there's no longer a way for the pressure to remain at 1 atm because it's going to start cooling. And then we'll drop in the ice water bath. Let's hit it. Ready, Angus?
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it off.
Yeah. Do you have a preference on glove?
I'll take the small ones.
Okay, I don't know which it is. Oh, Angus is smart. He put a little vacuum grease on here. Ready?
Yeah.
Starting to get hot. I'm trying to do this quickly. So we want to make sure this is tight. That way, as it cools, atmospheric pressure can't leak in. Thank you. Ready?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, go. This is gonna be a good one.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Isn't that crazy? At the end of class, you can check this out. This thing is seriously massive. So it's just going to keep creaking as the day goes by. And at the end of class, you'll see it. This thing is just wild. That's pretty cool. That was a good one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fast one, too. All right.
There it goes.
Isn't that fun? You can see what happened to the other one, too. That was a pretty good one. Now I can put this back over here. Trying to get out of class on time. That's all. All right, where are we at? So that was a fun one. Let's give a big round of applause to Angus for doing all this.
This.
I know, I can't find it. I keep my list. I see a remote. Hopefully when I timestamp this, it'll be better. Oh, I hit it behind the aquarium. Oh, there it went. All right, good. Now, let's talk about pressure in a fluid flow. All right? Pressure in a fluid flow. We talked about this a little bit last time. And I want to be careful on this one. Let me see if I can get the over here. All right. Last time we talked about fluid flowing in a pipe, right? So, and in general, when we talk about fluid flowing in a pipe in a closed system, what happens to the speed if the pipe gets narrower? Do you remember? What happens? It gets faster. What happens to the pressure? It decreases. Dynamic pressure would increase, but static pressure, which is pressure, decreases. Now, I want to show you the difference between closed and open systems, all right? So let's first start with a carpet blower here. All right, we got a YouTube somewhere? There we do. We should have a, all right. And let me get this on screen behind you here. Okay, go out just a little bit. All right, so hopefully you can see this. This is actually a pressure gauge. My claim is, right, this is the U2. This side is open to atmospheric pressure. So the pressure right here above this water column is 1 atm, 1.013 times 10 to the 5th pascals. Now on this side, I have this funky looking tube. What page is this on? Can you help me out? It's right there. This is on page 148. 148. I've got to picture this up close so you guys sitting out there in the audience can see this. And notice there's a stopper here. I'll explain why this stopper is super important. I also have this piece of tinsel. This piece of tinsel is to help me know which direction the air is flowing. And just to show you that that's going to matter, I just want to show you that there's a difference when I blow straight into this versus over the top of this, right? When I blow over the top of this, watch the tube. Obviously, if the pressure increases on this side of the tube should go up. If the pressure decreases over here, this side of the tube should go down because atmosphere can push it down. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
So in this case, if I blow into this straight like this, did you see this shoot up? Right? Whereas if I blow over the top of this, was the change as dramatic or was there almost none? Did you see much of a change? Okay, so notice, this is what's interesting. We're seeing the difference between stagnation pressure, stopping the fluid flow, having to jam right into there and stop it, versus actually measuring pressure, static pressure. Static pressure is measured in this direction. So the trick is you have to have a large flat surface so the fluid flow can flow straight over this. And then what's happening, remember, pressure points in every direction, including perpendicular to the airflow. So we'll be measuring correctly the pressure, not the dynamic pressure and the pressure. Does that make sense? At all, kind of ish? All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this blower and get a rapidly moving air stream. If we have rapidly moving air, what do you think is going to happen to the pressure? Let's see. Watch this carefully. So I can see. Do you see it changing? I can't hear anything. Yes. Did you see it change?
Yeah.
You did?
Yes.
That's not good. It shouldn't change. So it maybe changed a tiny bit. You guys get a slice if you need it over there, all right? That's my kids, everybody. Oh, it does change a little bit. Let's turn the fire. There, do you see it? Not much change. Whereas if I go like this, there's a dramatic change here, right? Dramatic change. Not much change. I hope. I get the line right. All right. I can't tell what's going on. But the idea here is this. This is not the same as fluid flowing in a pipe. This fluid is flowing in an open system. It's not closed. And so what's happening is when you plug this into the wall, the blower is doing work on it. And when we do work on the air, you can actually increase the speed without losing pressure. That's what I was trying to point out. This thing is very sensitive as well. So we may have seen some subtle changes associated with the air expanding, which would be associated with a pressure drop. But just because you have a moving airstream does not mean you get a pressure drop. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Luz. All right. Let's give my kids a round of applause over there. Putting up with this. All right, whatever. Okay, so point being, this is different than a closed system. Go ahead and get your slices if you want, all right? Let's do this one next. Let's show this closed system here. I find this one very interesting. So what we have here is a leaf blower, right? What's this thing gonna do? Suck or blow? Blow. So now I need a volunteer to put a piece of cardboard in there. Gotcha. All right.
Turn it at once.
And I just want somebody to come in here, reach under here, and shove this piece of cardboard straight up into the airstream, and then let go of it. What should happen when I put this cardboard directly under the leaf blower? Blow it away, huh? Peter, you're closest. Just do this. Okay, ready? And just verify that it's flowing. Do you agree that while the air is blowing down fiercely, it actually helps keep the cardboard up? What is going on? This actually is a closed system because right here, this is a pipe. And then what's going to happen is right here, there's a tiny little air gap between the cardboard and this plexiglass that's acting like a pipe with an extremely small cross-sectional area. If you have an extremely small cross-sectional area, what should happen to the fluid speed in this closed system? Continuity equation, A1 V1 equals A2 V2. If A1 gets hella tiny, what happens to V1? Really fast. Because it's a closed system, then what happens to the pressure between the cardboard and the plexi? It's a closed system. What should happen to the pressure when the fluid speeds up in a closed system? It drops. I got 15 psi underneath, less than 15 psi over the top. There's a force from high to low holding it up. Now, obviously, if you're too far away, the gap isn't small enough and it just blows it straight down. So this only works if you have an extremely flat surface. Anyways, I thought you would find that interesting. Whew, was that a problem? I don't even know if that was a problem. Whatever. Here's another one. Let's do this perfume bottle. One of my kids' favorite. Can we get some more fluid in there? Yeah. So I'm gonna get the camera ready. Will you do that? Don't worry, we'll be out of here in record time. Where are we? We are here. Sorry, it's a lot harder on Zoom people. You know that. Oh, all right. So here we have some fluid, and I'm going to connect it up to this balloon inflator. Got it? All right. And so now I want you to look carefully here. We have a tube. This is inflate. We're good. We have a tube here, and then it suddenly gets narrower. This is a closed system again. This isn't an open system like the blower. This is a closed system. So what should happen when we get to this constriction in the pipe? It's a smaller area. What happens to the fluid speed? What happens to the rate? The flow rate stays the same. Remember, fluid speed is V. Flow rate is A1 V1, the product. Okay, so if we have a closed system, the fluid speed increases. What should happen to the pressure right here? The static pressure, not the dynamic, the static pressure. Will it increase, decrease, or stay the same? Decrease. If I have lower pressure here, atmospheric pressure here, by opening this to air, might have been what we forgot to do with your ass. Oh my gosh, I'm having some trouble. Oh, that's rotting out. Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay, so now we've got this open air here. So I have atmospheric pressure above here, lower pressure here. What should happen to the fluid? In the tube, I have atmospheric here, less than atmospheric here. That's connected to this tube. If there's less than atmospheric pressure here, what should happen? Water go off the tube. Exactly. It's pushed up. It's not sucked up. Oh, I'm ready for date night. Oh, well, okay. Anyways, I find that slightly interesting, but same idea. There's like the no sucking. This is a lot. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's try this one. I hope you're having some fun. These are just some of my favorite demos, and I want to share with you. That's basically it. I've got these two light bulbs. Okay. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, I've got these two light bulbs. Oops, I'll go this way. All right, good enough. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to blow air between the light bulbs. What should happen? When I blow on them, the fluid is going to go right between them. Let's see what happens. Now, why do you think they come together? What's your description you would use? What physics would you say is going on there? Is this an open system or a closed system? Open, so it's trickier, right? Fortunately, there's no open systems on your final exam. Got that? Got that? All right. But the idea here is the fluid actually experiences an effect called the Coanda effect, right? It will adhere to the surface of the ball in such a way that the air is deflected this way. And I can prove that to you in just a minute. We're going to deflect the air this way. Well, if the light bulb pushes the air this way, what way does the air push on the light bulb? The other way. That's what's going on. And let's look at this with a spoon. And what page are we on? We are on page 151, 152. Yeah, let's look at 151. We need those tables out of the way. It's that big one, that big diagonal. I've got it. There's more pizza if you need it. Yeah. You guys eat more pizza if you want it, all right?
Oh, you want it,
What's that? Oh yeah, there's some Zoomers out there.
okay.
I'll show you the blower after I get this class.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just here to get some pizza.
Gotcha. All right, so now I can go up just a hair. Zoom in. I hope you guys are finding this slightly interesting compared to a normal class. That's the goal here. Maybe show you that all of physics isn't torture. All right.
So we agree that the majority of physics is torture.
Duh, everybody agrees with that. All right. Now I just want to show you here, I have an aquarium pump. I'm going to throw it in this tube of water, this tub of water. I've got the hose connected to the other end. I'm going to turn it on. We've got a fluid stream. Is that showing up at all? Right. If I do that, can you kind of see the fluid here? Awkward. How about if I just do this? Does that make it show up?
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
All right, good. Now I've got this spoon, and I just want to show you, I'm going to hold this spoon delicately, right? I'm not exerting any significant lateral forces on it. And I'm going to put this in the water stream. I'm just going to slide it right in like that, and I'm not going to exert any lateral forces. When I do that, what's going to happen to the spoon? Is it going to be pushed away or towards the water stream? What do you think? I'm sure you said something, I can't hear a damn thing. So I'm just going to do it. What happened? Which way does it go?
Towards the water.
Into the stream. This is exactly the same as something I was talking about that I've already forgotten about, the Coanda effect, the light bulbs, right? So this is supposed to be explaining those light bulbs, right? When you have a fast moving fluid stream here, and we have this fluid stream adhere to the surface in such a manner as the Coanda effect, which is not on your final, implies, it's just a really cool effect. We see it causes deflection of the airstream, and it's kind of counterintuitive, right? So, all right, enough on that. This is what explains the giant blower. A lot of physicists incorrectly explain the Bernoulli blower here. Let's see, is this the right one? Yes. So we got a big ass beach ball. Things that make Angus do. I got a blower here. Dynamic pressure. Coanda effect. If I pull it out, it snaps back in. Watch this. Oh, here you go, guys. Ready? Negative pressure change. Do you agree? I agree. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So the mechanical work of the blower increases the speed, not a Venturi effect. All right. So in this case, check this out. What's going to happen when I turn the blower off? Where will the ball go? How did I intend it? Where it go? When I turn this blower off, which way will the ball go? Watch. Into the blower. Figure that out on your own. All right. Well, you already saw what this one's supposed to do. Right into the water. Let's just do it. This is the same concept. Get you, I swear. Yeah. It's something to do. So if you need to TP a house, make sure you bring a generator because that won't wake anybody in the house up. And run a bunch of carbon blowers like this. But this is the Coanda effect, Venturi effect, and Bernoulli are all oftentimes mixed up. So if you really care about really understanding fluids, first step is realize you don't know anything, like I didn't. And I barely know anything now. I know enough to know, ask somebody that knows something instead of thinking you know what's going on with fluids. But that's all on page 151. Yeah, that's enough. And don't be surprised. Many people that are professional physicists would screw this up. And basically, almost every person I show this stuff to screws it up too. And I screwed it up when I started too. So I taught it the wrong way as well. So it's just, this is a hard subject to teach well. Where are we at? Oh, this is a weird thing. Does anybody know what this is? It's a part of an F-15. So somebody gave it to me because it was defective. But I want you to notice something here. There's some tiny little holes on here. I don't know if you can see that on Zoom or not. I'll just go right up to the camera. I'll pass this around, but this is a pressure gauge. It's the same as that stupid little pressure gauge I had right here. The idea is if you have a flat surface with a hole in it, you can get the pressure, right? Why might this be important for a plane? Exactly. Ultimately, you could use this as described on page something. Come on. Where is it? Page 148. These little holes are pressure gauges that can be used to help determine the airspeed of a plane, which hopefully helps you not crash. So you can pass that around. I had a student that was a mechanic. It's just kind of interesting to have a chunk of an F-15 laying around. That's kind of cool. Where are we at? Where are we at? Siphon, YouTube, Coanda, water mesh. We haven't done that. Magnus board. Oh, I want to say this while we're talking about Coanda. Everybody, I know I don't usually, well, just do this for me. Look at the bottom of page 150 right now. Don't screw this up ever again in your life, okay? This is not on the test, but it should be, okay? One of the most commonly misunderstood concepts is lift. Maybe you've heard that, oh, the air has to go faster over the top of the wing to meet up with the air at the back. Lies. Maybe you've heard that the air bounces off the bottom. Lies. Although they're not complete lies. In certain special cases, that may actually end up being true. But so if you want to understand lift, take a fluid mechanics course And I think the best way to describe lift is this way I've been trying to explain it all day. Lift is a force that results from the turning of a moving fluid, sort of like we saw with the water in the spoon, or with the Kiwanis ball or the toilet paper, right? Just say it that way. It's good enough for NASA, good enough for me, all right? Just, yeah, if you need to understand lift, that's cool. If you're a biologist, maybe you want to understand poisoning on the top, or viscosity. Those are topics that are not on the final exam, but they're there for biologists or biomedical majors. Obviously, this stuff that matters in blood vessels and stuff like that, probably in chemistry, and I don't know anything about chemistry, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Good. So I appreciate you letting me say these things, just because to me it's important to let you know that probably a lot of what you've heard in life is wrong about fluids. That's why I'm doing this, all right? All right, let's test it. All right. Really appreciate you guys just being chill today. I feel like this is my moral obligation. Maybe that's stupid, but I'm trying to educate you. I know it's so dumb, right? To think I'm doing anything. Whatever. All right, let's see how you do. I've got a ping pong ball and a funnel. I'm going to stick it in here and I'm going to blow as hard as I can. What should happen to the ping pong ball? Why?
Like the cardboard with the air filter.
This is like the, excellent. This is one like the cardboard. So this is a closed system, closed tube. And then, right, the air stream is going to come out of here and it has to pass this constriction while it's still part of the closed system. So that's excellent. You recognized a closed system. All right. Good, you got that? Did that? Magnus Effect, we did that. I think we're down to my hands feel like two balloons. All right, that's one of my favorites. 14.44, last one. Okay, 14.44. All right. Okay. I'm going to lower this down just a little so I don't forget. All right, you guys probably know this one. This one hopefully you'll get. All right, I got these two balloons. One of them is more inflated than the other. I've got a valve in between them. I'm going to open the valve. What should happen to the two balloons? Darn, this one's tricky, isn't it? Isn't that weird? This is not a fluke. This happens all the time. We saw that the air went from the less inflated balloon into the more inflated balloon. Why does that happen? Do you know, Sean? What do you think? It's always going to put a chemist on the spot on the live stream.
Geez.
This is a weird one. I don't know if you've ever seen this before.
Is it because, no, it can't be that. I was gonna say that the atmospheric pressure outside is.
This is
like
not usually this is not explained with pressure. That'll be a
Okay.
hint.
Okay,
This is another fluid topic that's not on the exam, but I thought it might be worth seeing, especially because it relates to the lungs.
Is it a closed system, right?
What's that?
Is it closed, the system?
This is a closed system, true, but we're not talking Bernoulli here. That's a good thought. It is a closed system, though, until I pull this plug, but we didn't. Surface tension is the key. So this is another topic that we don't talk about, but it's very interesting. If you want to see this in the book, you can read it. But the idea is this balloon will have less surface tension than that one. And maybe you've noticed, have you ever tried to blow up a little, one of those party balloons for making animals?
oh yeah.
It's like extremely hard at the beginning, and then it gets easier because the surface tension decreases. Or maybe you've even seen this where somebody will make a mouse out of the balloons, and then at the very end of the tail, they'll have a big bulb there. Why doesn't the bulb just naturally fill up the rest of the balloon? It's this surface tension issue. When the balloon is uninflated, it actually has less, now I gotta think about it, more surface tension. It takes more to expand it or something like that. Read the solution. I wrote up the solution right. I'm tired right now.
So it has to do with the surface tension of the balloon, not not,
That's right.
Not
And
anything
then, and that has to do with the
inside.
radius of curvature.
yeah,
Right?
Okay.
And so if the balloon is already pre-inflated a little bit, or if it's inflated more, the radius of curvature is larger. And so I think you have more surface tension, but the component of surface tension compressing it is
Yeah.
smaller. Got it?
yeah. Cool.
Something like that.
No, that's really cool.
And this actually relates to how you breathe and the surfactant in your lungs and stuff like this. Again, chemistry, biology, I don't know. Read the book. It's in there. If you're passionate about it. Is that it? Can we stop the live stream? What's that?
That's the mesh.
Oh, yeah. One more. The mesh. You're right. All right. This is a fun one. I don't know if I've already showed you this one or not. But Sean might know this one better than I do. This is not my expertise either. So we're doing the, I wonder which section of the demos these are. All right. Got a mesh here. Can you see this all right? Are we on Zoom? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Do I need a little lower, maybe? Make sure in case I forget. That's okay. I'm gonna zoom out just because I don't want to have to reshoot this stupid thing for this one demo. All right. All right. So in this case, I'm gonna fill up this beaker with water. Is it filling? Can you see it on Zoom? Okay, thanks, boss. Put a little more in there. Fluid still going in?
Nope.
Okay, topped off. Why doesn't it come out? Isn't that weird? It goes in, but it doesn't come out? What?
Oh.
What's going on there? What keeps the water in?
Surface tension in the water.
There's surface tension and atmospheric pressure both combined here. You're absolutely right. And so, yeah, let's leave it. Is that it?
I think that's it.
All right. I'm gonna check the list one last time. Hopefully that's it. Good. Pretty weird stuff, right? Did you guys have fun today? Yeah. Let's give Angus a round of applause. Let's give the pizza man a round of applause. Yeah. And then also our brave chemist for speaking up in a physics class. I like that. So let's get him a round of applause. All right. So test is Monday. Don't screw it up. We can end it. Just end the hell. End this hell.